Michael Appleton. And Michael, you talked before the game about how tough it is to lose in a semi-final. Losing a semi-final on penalties must be the worst outcome.
Yeah, it's not great, and obviously, you've got a lot of bitterly disappointed players in the dressing room, as you can imagine. And we'll pick them up as quick as we can, obviously, because we've got a crucial league game and more crucial league games coming up beyond Saturday. So we'll try and move on really, really quickly. Really proud and delighted the way the lads went about it tonight. I thought for the first half an hour, 35 minutes, we were in control and looked the better side, most sort of threatening side. Then they had a really good spell before half time. Having said that, I knew coming in at half time that we had a few players who looked a little bit leggy. They looked tired tonight, and that's not like us. And we're going to have to make sure that we look after the players in between games, because in the second half at times, there was a few of them who probably lacked that spark that we've probably had over the first probably 3, 4, 5 months of the season.
Do you feel it going to penalties was a fair result based on the 90?
Yeah, I mean, I think they had one or two better clear opportunities in terms of White with headers, but in terms of the overall sort of 95 minutes or so, I think it was a reasonably fair draw before obviously going into penalties. I suppose what they did do is show their real sort of experience when it came down to that. The likes of Max Power, Ledbetter, Maguire, and these players going up on nines, going up to take penalties is a clear indication of the quality and experience that they've got on their side.
You made an early change in the second half to bring Cohen on. It must have been great to see him involved in the build-up to the goal.
Yeah, we just felt that they were keeping quite a high line. We thought about it at half-time, and we knew with his pace, he'd give us energy and pace in behind, and we just waited for that right opportunity, and it was a well-worked goal. It was a good goal with a little bit more composure, possibly. Towards the end, we could have won the game in the 95 minutes, but it wasn't to be. They had a couple of good blocks towards the end, and obviously seeing it out with the penalties.
You talked about your players feeling a little tired and leggy. Do you think that's down to the shortened period between the Accrington game and this game?
Potentially, but it's one of them where I think not just us, all clubs are going to have to get used to that. We might find ourselves situations if games get called off where we play 4 games in a week, and that will really test us. But I think it was numerous things, Rob, to be fair, tonight. I mean, obviously, losing a couple of players over the last 24 hours hasn't helped, with Joe Walsh and Harry Anderson, and prior to that, Liam Bridcut. They're big players for us and experienced players. So it's going to be a real test for some of the young players in the group. We'll help them as best we possibly can, get them in the right shape, and hopefully their ability will take care of itself.
It's quite a different thing for your management team to do, isn't it? Pick these players up, because they've not had to be picked up really since you've been at the football club, especially this season.
No, I mean we've had a couple where I think we had a couple of defeats early on in the season. Back to back, where it really sort of tested us a little bit. I'm trying to think who it was. It might have been Bristol Rovers and Portsmouth, Pompey possibly. But little things like that. You've got to pass tests and you've got to tick boxes as a group. And again, this is another test for them. They'll be disappointed, and we'll get that out of their system pretty quickly and look forward to Saturday, because we have to, because we can't show too many disappointments, because going into Saturday's game, we know it's going to be a 3-game week.
And in a way, of course, you want to get to Wembley, but it does avoid having another extra game in the pile up in the running, as a few people have messaged in tonight.
Yes, it does, yeah, and that is definitely sort of one of the positive things. There's no doubt about it. I'm sort of stood here saying, we did look a bit leggy, and I'm certainly not making excuses. They're the conversations I was having with my staff at half time, and thinking how we could freshen it up and change things about a little bit. We had Tom Hopper running on empty a little bit in the second half, and possibly even in the latter stages of the first half because of the shift he put in for us on Sunday. So, we'll certainly, be aware of what we can and can't do, and make sure the players are in a position where once they enter the field, they're in as good a physical state as they possibly can be.
And how's Remy at the moment? Because it's a difficult moment for him in his career.
It is, but at the end of the day, if you're going to have a career in football, these are the moments that you've got to deal with. And I know personally, whether it's a player, as a coach, or as a manager, you certainly have a lot more downs than you do ups. You have a lot more disappointments than you do good days. You've got to enjoy the good days, but you've got to learn from the bad days. And obviously, this is a difficult night for him. But all I would say is there's a brilliant group in there, and I would imagine, by the time we hit the training field again on Friday, everyone will probably be laughing and joking and taking the mickey out of him.
And that's what he'll need, I guess, isn't it? That's what you need in a dressing room, and you've got to come to expect as a player that the way to get over these things is not necessarily always an arm around the shoulder from everybody.
No, exactly. And to be fair, he's quite a level-headed guy, to be fair to him. And, it's his sort of first season at first team. And he's been given an opportunity. And to be fair to him, he's took his opportunity. He's a valuable member of the squad, and he'll get more minutes between now and the end of the season. And I think for as much as it feels quite bad for him at this moment in time, he'll reflect and think, at the end of the day, I was involved in a semi-final, at the Stadium of Light, and had the courage to obviously step up and take a penalty.
And because of the injuries and the situation regarding the fitness of players, I guess there's not much you can do between now and Wigan.
No, there's not. I mean, obviously they won't clearly be doing much tomorrow because it's been so late finishing here, and obviously we're not. We've got to get on the bus now. It's probably going to be taking another 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours back to Lincoln, and then Friday is going to be a very, very light day because it's almost like the Saturday Tuesday scenario. So got to get back on a bus again up to Wigan, which is going to be a little bit more of a difficult journey than it was to get up here. But listen, Rob, it's one of them. If you want to be successful and you're going to be successful, these are the obstacles that you've got to make sure you clear.
And just to recap on the injury situation, Joe Walsh, same time as Liam Bridcut injury-wise. What about Harry Anderson?
Well, we won't know probably for definite until possibly Thursday or Friday. We're waiting for the information to sort of settle down a little bit. It literally happened 1 minute before training finished yesterday, so that's why he never travelled with us. So he's been packing it with ice, as you can imagine, over the last 24 hours. And I'm sure we'll get him scanned either tomorrow if it settles down, or if not Friday, and I'll have more info for you.